Happy Sunday, everybody. My name is Scott Mendenhall. Welcome to Unlock Church Online. If you're coming from our very short one-wheel video today, we didn't even get the link in to come over here today, but we are excited to have you here. If you came from, somehow you figured out how to get here from our one-wheel video, welcome. I'm never alone. We got a packed studio today. First time in a while, to be honest with you. We got Lily to my left and Joey to my right.
Hey.
Happy Wednesday.
You all said
Happy Sunday. I'm all
Happy
turned around.
Wednesday.
It's good to be
there
here.
it is. That's the
That's
here,
good.
the
We're
group.
together
The
again.
group. We're close.
Joey went
Like-
and had a baby, so.
Joey
I did, and then you went to have
Alaska.
beautiful memories in Alaska.
Oh, we should have brought your bear video.
I can get the
What bear video? You
She's-
did not actually see.
Yeah,
I
she
saw
did.
a bear, yeah.
We should
Did you
have.
wrestle it? Like
No.
who's? Oh, who,
Yeah, who did
Remnant.
yeah,
is it-
remember
One of,
who
somebody
on
in,
the
Oh,
chat? His
oh.
dad
yeah,
wrestled a
was
bear.
it Nick?
I don't
I
think
can't
it was Nick. I think
think
it
it
was
was
I don't know.
I can't remember. Somebody
No, I
did
didn't
wrestle a bear. We
wrestle.
had a picture of it. We put it up there because we're like, what? So, hey, if
I
you're
didn't
brand
wrestle
new,
a
here on this channel, we try to point you in a direction that would ultimately change your life, make you better at life, and that's through a relationship with Jesus. And you don't need to know anything about him. You'll learn it all here. Maybe you're a seasoned vet and you know all kinds of things about him. Hopefully that today we say something that, like, not us, but that God speaks to you. So it's going to be a fun one today. We are kicking it old school. We've got the big old Bibles out. Lily has the little one, but it's proportioned to her size. It looks
looking.
normal size.
This is I was looking for the smallest Bible I own yesterday, and this is my smallest one, but I sidestepped. I'm carrying larger for our camp this week because I want my other one.
Okay.
Okay.
Joseph Baker would be. Wait, no.
Yes,
get
get
that
that.
PC. His
Oh,
dad is
yep,
the one, and
yep.
he sent the picture in. I still have the picture burned in my brain.
I
Like,
love that he's here watching and claimed that.
Yeah, thank you for keeping us honest in all of those things. We do have Collins and Dwayne already loaded in and ready to go because we were having a long conversation even before this. So let's put them on screen this morning. Let's say hello to the boys across the great
Boys are
United
back
States.
in
There's
town.
Collins to my left, your left, and then Dwayne is in the red shirt. How we doing, boys?
Good morning.
Ooh, they're muted. Oh, I think we got you unmuted now. Sorry about that. That was us. Try that again. How are you guys doing?
Great.
We're good.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
I like how Dwayne speaks for both of them. We're good.
We're good. We're fabulous. Rocking and rolling. I like that how I am always jealous when I see their shots. They're outside and we are inside a studio at the moment. However, we have our big, I'm going to call it bay window.
Yeah, we have a nice.
We do have a
window.
view.
Oh my
Nice little
gosh.
breeze coming through.
You guys got to hear
it
this
feels good.
story that Nick just put in the chat.
Okay.
He says, some young kid left his favorite stuffed animal at my work. I grabbed it and ran outside and saw them a mile down the street. I booked it and I never run. And I made it to them. Kid wouldn't have slept without it. # live life like Jesus.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's so good, Nick.
You're
That's
some-
awesome.
Good
you-
man.
I wouldn't have
good
ran.
man.
I'm just kidding.
You wouldn't have ran. you
I would
said?
have ran home, grabbed my one
wheel. Yeah, I thought that's where I
Right.
thought we were going with that story. And I grabbed my
Oh.
one wheel and I chased him down. I thought that's what he was gonna say. But again, there takes an army to get this done. You just saw who's all in front of cameras and stuff, but we have a crew that always is pressing buttons, turning volumes up, sometimes muting people when they're supposed to be unmuted. All those things are happening simultaneously. Let's give a shout out and a shot to the boys at the back table today. We have, there they are, right there, looking so good.
Cinder blocks today.
It's no longer a 5-gallon bucket. We went to cinder blocks. Tall Jordan is on a wooden stool, 2 wooden stools and cinder blocks today, which is pretty fun. A cool shout out though is that we had somebody give a donation since they saw a shot last week of someone sitting on a 5-gallon bucket to buy some chairs. So in the next coming weeks, we will get proper chairs for the people that serve at the back table. They're excited. We want to say thank you to you and your generosity for doing that. So when you see those chairs in a couple weeks, it's someone that calls Unlocked Church home online doing that very thing. If you got your Bible, we're going to open it up. Man, I felt old school right there. If you have your Bible, we're going to open it up to 1 John chapter 3. I think we're going to go somewhere around verse 14, just so you can find it. We're not going to get there quite yet, but we're going to soon. All right, if you could only have one other drink besides water, what would you choose? And the reason we start this is because the way Dwayne came in this morning. Dwayne, you are in the same time zone as us in Minnesota. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so it is 8:11. It was about 20 minutes ago Dwayne came in the shot. Whoa, can you just hold up what you were drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning? A Dr. Pepper. Would that be your favorite drink besides water?
Absolutely. Without a
Okay,
doubt. Without a doubt. That's
Like
my caffeine. That's my caffeine. I don't drink coffee, so my
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper is my caffeine.
Okay, and how long have you been liking Dr. Pepper?
Ooh, so I remember being like maybe 6 or 7, and my uncles drinking Dr. Pepper, and it's like they're really cool, and I kind of want to be like them, so I would drink it. And it's been
6 or
close
7
since.
ever since. Wow. Okay, so
You learn a lot when you're young.
you do. You,
Yeah.
you catch
You
a
catch
lot.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, catch
That
a
ex-
lot.
Catch
that
a lot.
ex-
Yeah.
That explains a lot about Dwayne.
Yes. Okay, Dwayne. So, are you like when you talk about Dr. Pepper? Are you a fanatic of it? Meaning, you own memorabilia of Dr. Pepper and Dr. Pepper T-shirts. It's
You
just
don't
a drink.
even have a shirt. You don't even have a
I-
shirt.
No,
feel like
no,
it's
don't I even have a shirt.
I'm gonna get you a
I
shirt.
feel like now that I just feel like you should have a Dr. Pepper sign, like an old. How long has Dr. Pepper even been around for? Does anybody know that in
I
here?
can.
Yeah, let's
No.
look that up. Some fun facts for Dwayne.
What's
I think it's the oldest. It is the oldest soda that's out there.
Wait,
Like
wow,
it
I
was
was
one
just
of the
about to ask
first
what's older.
national
I feel like-
brands.
I feel like
Yep,
Coca-Cola
Dr. Pepper.
or something would be.
Interesting.
It was the first marketed as an energy booster and brain tonic.
Dr. Pepper.
So the History Channel does a great thing of like was
1962.
it the Soda
Oh, no,
Wars?
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so it hit. Okay, Soda Wars. It's a
Interesting.
thing.
There's a Dwayne. There's a Dr. Pepper museum
Where?
in Waco, Texas.
There you go. We gotta fly him over there. Okay,
Wait.
hopefully
Yeah.
online you're telling us what your favorite drink is besides water. Collins, if you something besides water, what would be your favorite drink?
Is it something I'd be drinking in place of water, or just that I like besides
That you
water?
like? No, we're trying to say water. You can't replace water, so you're gonna drink water. On top of that, you're like, I would love.
Uh,
Is it, like coffee? You seem to always like that. Or is that just?
I drink coffee. I don't know if it's my favorite. I know it wouldn't be a Dirty Plenty. So I'll say a Coke probably,
Ooh, a Coke.
but I never drink soda. So
Coke is good.
Yeah, we're
I
not-
like Coke.
Wait,
I
why
like
didn't
Coke.
he say coffee?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you
Oh,
went
I
with Coke and not coffee.
actually I like Coke better. I just don't drink it.
Oh wow.
Because Coke, without it being Coke Zero, is really full of tons of salt and sugar. Like I
I
didn't
don't know.
that.
As I think about it, Sprecker's root beer might be right up there at the
Ooh,
top.
that's tasty.
Yeah.
That's very tasty. That's a Wisconsin root beer. All right, Lil, how about you?
Coffee.
Coffee.
I think it's-
Without a doubt, she says
Yeah.
coffee. Okay, just black or with?
Yeah, just black.
Okay, how about you, my friend who has shaved his beard, Joey, into a mustache with a soul patch. Looking good, man.
Hey, I had to. I didn't want to look like Abe Lincoln this morning.
You look good, JoJo.
But I'm gonna have to say coffee as well. I think.
Okay.
Just yep, coffee.
coffee is just
It's just so
a
good.
blessing from
Mhm.
God.
I definitely
Joey.
like coffee.
Yes.
Joey, you've got that Bible tabbed up. You must be tearing up the word there, buddy.
I know it's been, but well,
Yeah.
It's been there for a long time.
it's been there for a while. Other-
That's great, Joey.
And mine would be, if I'm something besides water, would be like a rehydrate, I think,
cool.
or a spark. I know it's like, but like a
No,
Rehydrate,
is delicious.
is like a Gatorade, but without all the sugar stuff in it.
I like
We got
that,
people.
dude.
Get that PC. Good morning, and he says pumpkin spice latte. My mom, Mary Mendenhall, in there says Coke, so we got 2 Cokes. We have no other Dr. Peppers I can see. We got Mountain Dew, but diet.
I would choose Dr. Pepper if I was choosing soda.
Would you?
Yes, I love Dr. Pepper.
Amy Beal in the chat going, I think David Crowder used to live in Dr. Pepper's original, the creator of Dr. Pepper's home.
That is
I believe
so
that's
random.
true. He is a big fan as well.
Of Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, I learned from David Crowder that Dr. Pepper is one ingredient away from being black licorice.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Probably from Scott.
Probably, I think it's one of those profound things. It's like that one ingredient changes from liquid to a thing. Okay. Hey, if you're
black
brand new
licorice.
around here and you're like, what do you got? We just like to start out a little bit slow in the morning, kind of having fun, checking in with everybody. We're going to get to the meat of the day. We are going to put a song on the screen. If you are brand new around here or you're like, why do you guys do that every week? Because we want to reposition our thinking. We know that all of us, myself included, we come in here every week with what kind of week we've had. It could be a great week. Not all of us went to Alaska and got to see bears. Not all of us shaved our beard off today. And not all of us had a good week or a bad week. So what we want to do is all come in and go, hey, no matter what the circumstances of my week are, God still is worth something in our lives. Like of highest thoughts and highest praise would be where you kind of would hear inside churches. The highest praise would be given to God. And so what we want to do is we like to recenter our thinking on that, and we always do that through, or sometimes do it through music. It's something funny about music that can speak to the soul, to move us in a direction of opening our hearts. And so we're going to do Waymaker, because Waymaker is such a profound
Such a good song.
Yeah, I like Waymaker. I was listening to it yesterday on my run. I was like, I just said, hey Siri, play Waymaker, and she did, and it was like, I said, play it again.
Yeah.
And so I did it on repeat. Another good one. Can I just give you another good one? If you haven't, it's from Planet Shakers, and it is, I gotta look it up. I thought I would remember it from but if you want a great song that's just so good, it is I Know You Can. That's a good one. I know. Did you write that down, Lil, or are you falling asleep over there?
I know, I remember it.
You've heard I Know I Can? It just came out.
No, I remember it now, though. Because I remember it because it reminds me of the song. I know I can be what I want to be what I want to be.
Wait,
but
that sounds like
if I
Spice
work
Girls.
hard at it. No, it's like Nas. It's
I do
old.
not know what she's talking about.
It's like
Wannabe.
90s rap.
Yeah,
It's old school.
but this one is not old school.
Right, but I have the association in my head. I will not forget it.
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of
I
the
know
song
I
I
can.
played at camp. Is that what you're thinking?
I wonder if
no,
people
I'm
know.
thinking of a song by Nas.
No, but I'm saying the Planet Shaker one. I Know I Can is brand new.
That's Limitless.
Okay.
I remember.
But this one you've
This
heard?
is new. No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
I remember
just
to go
the title.
listen to it.
Oh.
I will not forget it now.
That was
Neither
confusing.
will
Yeah.
any of
My
you.
goodness. Okay, go check that one out. Planet Shakers, I Know You Can. We're going to Waymaker, and we'll be right back. So find your Bibles, open them up, and then we're going to discuss all those things. So good to see Team. Is it Mo?
Team Momo. She just said we are Scott's aunt and uncle.
Oh yeah.
You got family watching.
It's so much
How
fun.
fun.
Okay, check out Waymaker, and we'll be right back to have a great discussion today in 1 John chapter 3, verse 14. Get your coffee or your Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew and your Bible.
Or your water.
Or your water. You know, H2O, that'd be great too. Okay, check out Waymaker. We'll be right back.
worship you. You are here, you're moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, you're working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, you're touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, you're healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, you're turning lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, you're mending every heart. I worship you, oh I worship you. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 It's who you are. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop working. You'll never stop, you'll never stop. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper.
man, that song, when Joey and I were just talking about it, the great thing about that song, when you run, is not the music that gets you amped, it's the truth of the song that gets you amped. And so it's a very energetic song when you realize the truth of it. I love the whole vibe behind it of like, even though I don't see you working, you're working. And I hope for not knowing what all our backgrounds are this past week or even this month, what you're walking through, I am aware of some of the things that you guys are walking through because you guys call the church and we talk with you. Lily talks with you. Joey talks with you. Some of you have DM'd me. So I'm aware of some of the things you guys are all walking through. And this song is full of truth that we should hold on to and be the thing that pulls us through. The wind in our sails, if I can steal some other lyrics from a God-centered song, right? You're the wind beneath my wings is what I'm thinking about.
Celine Dion, let's go.
She sings that?
No? I don't know.
I don't think that. I think it's Whitney Houston.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I could see how I would get those two mixed up. I feel like it's the same time period.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Okay. No one's helping. This is
Lily. That's okay. Joey, you missed the memo of the black t-shirt today.
I know.
Way to keep.
Joey was busy shaving.
Yeah,
I was. Hey,
Joey
guys,
texted.
I'm telling you.
He texted, I'm running late. I'm trying to shave.
Yeah, it was a rough morning. It's been a while since I've clean shaven.
Like he used it,
like a real a shaver. Usually it's just like real quick.
But the battery was
It
dead.
looks
Battery was dead.
Buttery soft. Buttery
And,
smooth on your face.
yeah, it feels buttery smooth.
And then you use your wife's leg shaver.
Yep, so she'll find
Leg
out.
shaver.
Razor.
Hey,
I'm trying to decide if that's like
gross.
I'm
No,
not sure.
why would that be gross? I've used a leg razor that someone's used for their beard. I feel
What?
Used for their what?
their beard.
Oh,
Like it's one thing. It's one thing if you're married, I suppose, but then somebody that you're not even married to.
No,
it's like,
it was like my dad.
still, I don't know. I can't make a decision on that.
When you share a bathroom and only have one razor, it's like, whoa.
I feel like somebody's gonna give us some science
I'm
behind
sure.
that it's not healthy. Okay, if you're brand new around, you're like, yes, we talk about everything. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You will not regret it, and nor would we. We'd love to have you subscribe to channels. We're continuing trying to grow it on YouTube. As we grow on subscribers, it unlocks more benefits in the channel that allows us to spread the good news easier and more benefits for you guys. So if you would subscribe, that would be great. If you're watching and not in the live chat, man, you're missing out on some of the power of the morning where you guys get to chat with each other and check in on how everybody's doing. We are jumping into 1 John chapter 3, verse 14. This is what we jumped on this a little bit ago.
Wake up.
Somebody's got an alarm going, but that's all right. We're all checking our phones in here. It's someone else.
It's probably Joey and her.
Yeah, they got it. They got it. It stopped. They were quick.
all right.
Like,
I was freaking out for a second.
Yeah.
I stopped using that sound because it just was like triggering for me, like
It still
in
is.
waking up.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna read through and just what jumps out to us, we're gonna talk about. That's the end of that's it. We're gonna just read through the Bible because we want to get back to the truth of the real truth so that we have ways to understand how to deal with culture as breaking news is always breaking us and breaking into interrupt our lives, and we're like, okay, am I supposed to buy into that fear, or is Jesus say something differently on that? How do I handle some of the agendas that are being thrown out in the world today? And I mean, I'm not talking just political agendas. I'm talking about all kinds of agendas that are in your public school or in your homeschool or your driver's ed class or at the hospital you work at or wherever you are doing life. There's always agendas happening, and it's like, are those things I should be following or should I stand up for? Well, we want to come back to not our opinion, but what does Jesus have to say on the topic? What is a follower of Jesus supposed to do? Behave like and know the truth for the truth. So when you read through the scriptures, you're like, okay, I need to live like that because not of an opinion, but because Jesus spoke it. John is an author of the book 1 John. He wrote 5 other books, I believe. He wrote John, just the Gospel John. It's just called John. Then 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John and Revelations. And so there are the 5 books he wrote that are in the Bible. John, again, to remind everybody, outlived everybody of the disciples. He's the oldest, so he saw a lot of death. He experienced a lot of pain of losing his closest friends. He took care of Mary until she passed away, Mary being Jesus' mother. So when Jesus died, rose again, and then went to heaven. Before he went to heaven, he said to John, take care of my mom. And so John did do that. And so it's always cool to read the perspective from John, because John not only saw it, knew Jesus, also got to hear stories probably told every year when it was Jesus' birthday. Mary to go, oh, I remember. Like it was just yesterday. An angel spoke to me. You know, right? So those perspectives are pretty cool. And so we're going to read through it, and it's just whatever jumps out. We have Dwayne and Cons in the background. You'll hear them. They'll pop in. They'll go, hey, I got a thought. And so let's just start reading verse 14. And it's a heavy one today, but it's also like repeats, okay? If we love our Christian brothers and sisters, it proves that we have passed from death to life. But a person who has no love is still dead. Anyone who hates another brother or sister is really a murderer at heart. And you know that murderers don't have eternal life within them. That's pretty heavy stuff. So this is where we get the phrase, we say, what does love require you to do? It's a great filtering system on how to handle situations in life throughout the week. Coworkers, siblings, your kids, they come and break in on and tell you something that you're shocked by. You're like, whoa. So then the filter is like, what does love require me to do? How do I handle this with love? That's a great starting point and an ending point. So we're going to talk about what does love require us to do. But if we love our Christians and brothers and sisters, it proves that we have passed from death to life. But a person who hates has no love and is still dead. Now let's go verse 16. We know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. Okay. Lily, you're our resident Googler today. Will you look up the definition of love? But here we get, let's see, Dwayne, you have a different version. There's different versions of the Bible out there, which are great versions. They're just personal preferences most of the time, what makes sense to you. You're reading what are you reading, the Holmes?
Holman Standard.
The Holman.
The Holman. I get it wrong every time. It's just Holmes. I keep thinking Holmes. Dwayne, what does yours say there in 1 John chapter 3, verse 16?
This is how we have come to know love. He laid down his life for us. We should also lay down. Yeah.
Okay, we can pause there because this is how we know what love is. What version do you have, Joey?
I have the NIV.
Okay, will you read it?
This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us.
Okay.
And we have to lay down.
You guys want to keep reading through.
Hey, it's so good. Well, it's not
just
so.
Pause. How about you, Collins? Will you read it in the Amplified?
By this we know and have come to understand the depth and essence of his precious love.
Okay.
I love that.
Lily,
Little adjectives in there, describing words.
Define love for us from the Webster Dictionary.
I was like, what? An intense feeling of deep affection.
Okay.
Dun dun.
Right there, there's this collision of what we often think love is and what we're talking about here. The definition of love is an emotional state, which is fine. Problem with that is it can be... Emotions are fed by a lot of different things and are very inconsistent, right? You get bad news, the love goes. Mm-hmm. But here we know what love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. Do we want to add anything to that? Is that self-explanatory to everybody here?
Well, is there question? Is there like different levels of love? I think
Yeah,
I got like agape and the different, isn't there?
Yes.
Sacrificial love and then
brotherly love.
Brotherly love.
What's the word for that one?
I don't know.
I think agape is brotherly love.
Agape, yeah, you could Google that, Lily.
Okay.
Agape?
I'll do it.
Don't you think that the world, as it defines love, basically comes from the fleshly point of view, like, I love her, she makes me feel good, or I drink Dr. Pepper because it really You know what I mean? So it's all about what gratifies us.
Mm. Yeah, so
That's the love of that the world presents, as opposed to agape love, which Lily is going to tell us about shortly.
Agape is Greek. In the New
Yes.
Testament, the fatherly love of God for humans, as well as the human reciprocal love for God.
okay.
In Scripture,
But-
the transcendent agape love is the highest form of love and is contrasted with eros, or erotic love, and philia, brotherly love.
Yeah,
There
so
you go.
there's love and I was going to get to it, but Lily found a little bit of it there. There is love is broken down into 3 sections. You have the brotherly love, which is agape. You have
No, we said that mixed
Philia.
up. The philia is
what is
the brotherly
what is
love.
what is
Agape is the God love for
Oh,
all humans,
sorry, God
as well
love,
as our love for God.
philia, and then
Eros. That's human love. That's
Eros
erotic
is the
love.
human love.
Yes.
And then then that's 4.
Philia. There's I read 3. Is there 4?
Nope.
I like these words, so I want more. Let's skip.
I'm gonna.
Let's
Hey,
get more.
we're all
Hold on.
learning here.
I'm gonna pull up my notes when I did this once before.
Well,
because-
agape love is a sacrificial love. It's
that's
it's
how
a
I
love
it.
that does not count you first.
Mm. Which makes sense in the definition I found online about it being good.
Yes,
God's
yes,
love
it
for
does.
us is
Yes.
sacrificial love.
Yes.
So these are all Greek words, and this is how we translate them.
Our language just does not do justice to the original text and the meanings of those words.
So do you think that in what we're reading in 1 John 3:16, this is how we know what love is? Christ died for us, sacrificed his life for us. Do you think that love in that verse is agape in the
Oh,
translation?
Yes.
most definitely.
That's really cool. That's really cool. You looking for your...
Okay. So this is the Hebrews. Hebrews describe it. Three words it uses to describe love. Okay. So one is Reha, which is Raya. That is the brotherly love. So like Song of Solomon, you are altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you. That would be friendship. Okay. Then you have Ahava, which is deep affection. The desiring to be with someone so much that your heart hurts is the way to explain it. Is when your mind and heart are lined up, you can't stop thinking about anything but that person. So that's ahava. And then the third one is, again, ahava would be God so loved the world that he gave his only son. So there's your scripture for it in 1 John 3:16, ahava. His heart lined up with, right, those two things matched, and there was actions. That's a lot where I think we are missing a lot in our culture is the ahava, where it is the heart and the mind line up. We are usually not functioning with both those. So really we want to work on our ahava. Again, it's Song of Solomon's 8:6. Love is as strong as death. It's jealousy, unyielding as the grave that burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame. Ahava. I like saying that word. Ahava.
Are those Greek words?
Hebrew.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Hebrew.
Must have been reading in the chat. Okay. Got it.
And then dode.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an erotic love.
Dode is to carouse, to rock, to fondle.
Yeah. And there's...
This is where we shift from the just friendly.
And then there's scripture, right, in that Song of Solomon.
Yeah, well, Proverbs 7:18 would be where you see dode. Come, let's drink deeply of love till morning. Let's enjoy ourselves with love, with dode, is what the Hebrew is writing. Song of Solomon 1:2. Here's... Yes?
That was Proverbs that you just read?
That's how I have it wrote here. We can confirm that in my notes.
What was it? Proverbs what?
7:18.
Got you.
It could be Song of Solomon, but I have Proverbs 7:8. Thank you.
7:8?
18. 7:18. We're confirming.
Come, let's drink our fill of love until morning. Let's enjoy
there
each
you go.
other's caresses.
Woo!
I'm going to
Ooh,
start
this is
reading that
getting-
book a little more.
What? It's okay. You guys
Okay.
should go check out Proverbs 7, read the whole thing.
So
You'll
here you
understand
go.
why it's speaking those
So
words.
true love is all three of the loves: reha, ahava, and dode. Especially when it comes into a marriage, husband and wife situation, is raha, ahava, and dode. Okay.
So, are you saying we need to learn Greek and Hebrew in order to understand the Bible?
Well,
Well-
I just think you already made the point, Collins, and I completely agree with you. Our language and translation, it doesn't depict it like that does. You know, like the way that explains it is so different. And even what we were talking about with the agape and the philia.
Okay.
I just think.
Yeah, I think I don't think so, Collins. Like, I think it's very helpful. I think it's complimentary. I think it's one of those leveling ups, if you will. Like, don't start there unless you understand it and grasp some things. I think as you are in your journey in a relationship with Jesus, I think you add these things to it. To start there, I think it's overwhelming all of a sudden because you're like, how do I make heads or tails of this? Why did? So I think it's stepping stones there. What I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with is they think they got to do all of that to understand the Bible. I think it helps. It begins to unlock things and make things new every morning for us the more we understand it. But I do want to say this to all my single people out there. So if you're single dating and you want to know when I should get married, like that question was asked to me last week. Well, how do you know? Hopefully these people will listen. I do got to tell you. You will know, and I just saw it in my notes from this teaching that I did.
Oh, let's hear it. This is gonna
So-
be cool.
How
so
to
good.
know when time to get married.
When you are willing to serve for 14 years to get the girl or boy
That's-
of your
that's a
dreams
good
or
one.
something like that, right?
Yeah,
That's what
Rachel.
something like
And
that.
Jacob,
That is
right?
correct. But when all three of those things are present in a relationship,
Whew, that's a big one.
when all three, when Dode, Ahava, and Re'ah, or Raha is there, then you know it's time.
Wait. The desire for Dode,
Yes,
Okay.
not the
not
action.
the act.
Right.
Okay, it needs
Like,
to clear that one
what
up.
good is it if you're like, oh man, I love you, and your heart and mind line up, but then you're not attracted to them physically. Like, no, get out of there. Or if you're just got a lot of dode going on and none of the ahava.
I'm a dode man.
Yeah. Then you have too much. You have too much lust.
Okay, so one more time
They,
through.
they
We've
call
got-
me the dode dude.
Collins
Okay,
loves this.
Reel it in, boys.
Getting into that
loves
now.
this.
Reel it in. I feel alone on
You-
a ship right now.
What?
I had-
Get out of here. Get out of
Okay,
here.
but one more time for the single people who
Are you taking notes here?
Absolutely. Not that I have the ability to apply it at the moment, but I will. So we have ahava, which is
Ahava, which,
ahava.
but we'll start with the beginning, okay? 3 words to use in the Hebrew language to describe love. Reha, or raha, which is R-A-Y-A, which is friend, brotherly love, soulmate,
Oh,
friendship.
Yeah. Right. Like best
Okay.
friend forever. Okay.
Yes. Then the next one is ahava, deep affection, a desire to be with someone so much that your heart hurts. It's when your mind and heart are in line and can't stop thinking about the person. Then dode. That's where,
That's some really good advice.
and it should go in that order. The problem is our culture does love in reverse. We start with dode, then we kind of go, we probably jump back to the raha or I'm not sure.
Right.
Raya? Yeah, Raya.
Why do you think that's true of the culture, that what you just said?
Because it's the lust of the eye. It's the pleasure of the skin. The skin.
What the
And
skin
because
wants to do.
we have a culture that lives inside of the heart wants what it wants, and so which
Self,
is
right?
dangerous. It's self, and we are led
Yeah.
by our heart, and that's why I think Scott, when he said we are often not led by both the brain and the heart when it comes to the ahava, right? I'm getting them mixed up in my mind, but
Yeah, sorry.
we're just led by our heart or just led by our brains, and we're too logical. So one or the other, which is never me. But
I'm reading through the chat a little
yeah,
bit.
they're having fun. in
They
there.
are. It's a fun morning today, which I like. But so, Collins, Joseph is saying that's the funniest thing
That's a good question.
you have ever said on the stream. Is thank your Dode comment. But then Nick asked a great question.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Is marriage necessary, or can you love someone in all three ways and stay together forever?
What's stay together? What's stay together mean?
Like pretty much not have the ceremony and just be together, act like you're married.
Right.
Not technically be married.
That's how we're reading it, right?
I
So,
think.
Nick, if we're not reading that correct, maybe you need
Correct
to come
us.
back and give us a little bit more of context there, so we're not just assuming what you mean here. But I think that's how I read it, is that just live together but not be married.
Yeah.
But what does that doesn't line up with other scriptures, does it?
Well, no, that's what we were going to try to get to, is that, again, you got to go back to, is that a culture mindset or is that a Jesus mindset inside that question? And what's great about being a follower of Jesus is that asking questions is important. Finding the answer in scriptures is just as important to the question. If you just go get an opinion, I'm going to then search for somebody that's going to agree with my position. And that's dangerous, because you can find a lot of people that are followers of Jesus, but they don't actually adhere to all the Jesus principles. So they're going to give you advice. Oh, no, you can just live together. That's cool. That's all right. But what you're doing is sabotaging the way it was designed. You're short-circuiting something that you don't understand until you do it, until you get married and experience that commitment, to use a biblical word, a covenant between you and somebody else. Marriage is a covenant, and we don't use that word here. Maybe we would say it's a deal, it's a contract, and we are all about.
Big difference between deal, contract, and covenant. Big difference.
It is, but I'm trying to explain.
I get what you're saying.
And I understand that you're also trying to say, but I just don't think people use the word covenant and we see the bigness of it. But it is a big deal. I agree. I think marriage is a contract that is forever. Even if you didn't see 20 years in what it was going to be like. Oh, I didn't see that happening in 20 years. I didn't know that they were going to struggle with that in their life. And it's just like, it's a contract. It's a covenant that should not be broken. Now, I know that's not popular because people were like, but I how about this and that? Like, what breaks my heart about culture is that we use like the minority of things, the 2% on a topic, to try to make a law for 100% of all things, which is dangerous. So it's without getting into people's stories and stuff, it's just that breaks my heart because I think it's super dangerous. So the quick answer is, can you live with someone and have three? No, I think you're missing something, because I think to live together with somebody would, and again, I don't know Nick's scenario, so I'm not saying this towards Nick. This is very, like, not coming at somebody. Make sure you hear what I'm about to say in love. If you live with someone and you say all three are present, I would argue that you are missing one of the first two. Because I would want in love the best for the individual that I am doing life with, the person I say love with Holly, my wife of 21 years. I chose to not have sex with Holly until we got married because of my love for her. I didn't want to take advantage of her. I didn't want to hurt her. And I wanted to honor God's not rules, but
Way?
yeah, maybe that's his way of doing, like what he talks about. Like, I want to honor those things. But it's because of the three things that were present in my life. There was a lot of doubt, especially the further in your relationship you get to, and the closer you get to marriage. There's a lot of the opportunity, like, wow, man, she's hot. I do want to kiss her longer and all these things and do the.
This might be a little too much information for me right now.
Yeah, for my wife's dad. I'm pretty sure.
The Dode Man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when you said Dode Man, it was all off the table.
Okay, reel it back in.
A bunch of dudes.
Lily's having fun this morning,
Well,
you can tell.
No, I'm not.
No, you are. You're having fun because you're giving us a hard time.
Hey, Scott, this
yes.
is an area. This is an area that can instantly cause division, and we could have it going on right now. And the point of, I think, the whole point is, are we willing to trust, rely, and adhere to the teachings of Jesus Christ? That, and it's not just this one issue; it's all these issues we face in life. One isn't more, isn't different than another as far as level of whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying, we're all faced with the decision every day in our lives. Do we want to adhere to the teachings of Jesus? And then when you know what those teachings are you going to continue in the way of the world? Or are you going to change and follow Christ?
Right. But again, I think this is a fun topic, and I think when we go to do this, again, we meet live in Minnesota, about a 30-minute drive from here, where we're live at the moment, and they're going to miss this because this probably won't come up, at least.
Yeah, I already messaged it to someone. I was like, "You're gonna want to check this out."
Yeah, because but this is a fun conversation for sure. But I think to come full circle back to what I'm saying, I think there's a lot of people that say they love someone, and then they cross all these lines that actually is not an act of love, it's an act of hatred. When you have sex outside of marriage, that is an act of hatred, that is a selfish act. It's fulfilling your wants. What I want pleasure right now, so therefore I'm pursuing something that it was designed inside a covenant and designed inside this safety area of a covenant. It's an act of hatred to do that towards someone. And here's where I'm coming from on that. When everyone, even Dwayne, who's been quite silent down there in Mississippi, I'll start over at 16. We know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So we ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters. We need to downshift to second place. Not what I want, but what is it good for that person? Now, somebody's going, well, what if that person's the one that's going for the dode? Well, no, because you know that breaks how it's been designed, so you avoid it. I'm not going to do that because that would be, again, an act of hatred to the other person. I have been enlightened, if I can use a word in our culture. My eyes are open. I see the veil has come off in this topic. I see it differently now. No, I'm not going to do that. I remember, again, I'm trying to paint some skin to this, like real life stuff. Like Holly and I dated, I think she would be able to tell better. I think we dated for 3 years. And we were 19. I was 19 when we started dating, or 20. And so there was a couple times where I was like, Holly, you gotta get out of the car. Like, you just look really hot tonight. You gotta get out of the car.
Oh my gosh!
And I kicked her.
So
I kicked her out of the car because it was just
Oh my god!
There's no.
Collins, don't act like you haven't heard that before.
There's no.
Oh, that's the first time I've
You're
heard that.
so funny. You're so funny.
But that's me, like, not trying to hurt Holly in the process or take advantage of something. And so those are the real pieces to how do you on this topic. But now let's move past this and go to, okay, so we ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters. How do we do that? Like moving from the topic of dode, ahava, and rahaha, how do we give up our lives for other people to show love? That's the question. I'm going to go to Dwayne since he's been so quiet. I promise you, Dwayne, we're not going to ask you to talk about dode love, okay? Dwayne, to give up your lives, as John's writing here, he's defining that as an act of love. What does that look like in this day and age?
It does.
Yeah, so I think, this can definitely tie into the dode love as well. It's like it's giving, like it's putting the other person's interests above you, putting what their desires are, putting what what's best for them above your interest and your what you are going for. So I think that's the best way. So it's like, hey, uh, I have no desire to drive, this amount of time, but hey, if my friend needs me, if I'm like, I'm gonna be there. I think, um, throughout scriptures, God is definitely been a God. Like even here, it talks about moving beyond words. Actually, last week it was beyond just words. Um, no, it's later on this chapter, but moving beyond words, like actually putting action to it. So I think going back to the marriage, it's, hey, if there's love there, like that's words, like put actions to it and make that commitment. If you say that you are a follower of Christ, then okay, go beyond the words and show, like make that commitment, make that display to everyone and baptize. So I think it's just moving beyond just the words, but actually putting actions to it.
I think DC Talk, old Christian artists, I think they said they had "Love is a verb." Was the
Oh,
name
yeah.
of the song? Love is a verb.
Yeah.
It's moving to action. So Paul answers this a little bit. He's an author in the Bible as well. If you go to Romans chapter 12, I think it is Romans chapter 12 verse. We're going to start at verse 13. Give you a second to find that. This is a letter to a group of people meeting in the Roman Empire, a group of people that get together to talk about who Jesus is. Collins, do you have something to add?
No, I was
sorry.
correcting my wife pouring coffee.
Oh, right. That's important. Here we go.
My covenant partner.
My covenant partner. Which I really want. We could unpack that, and maybe we should. Let me read this. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Okay, sounds very similar. Always be eager to practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Don't curse them. Pray that God will bless them. Be happy with those who are happy and weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with each other. Don't be too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people, and don't think you know it all. Never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see you are honorable. Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. Dear friends, never take revenge. Leave that to the righteous anger of God, for the scripture says, I will take revenge. I will pay them back, says the Lord. I think that breaks it down pretty good on how to be second. I love where he says, be quick, always be eager to practice hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where are you at, Scott?
That was Romans chapter 12 verse 13, 9. I think we started at.
Yeah.
And then the other part of this stood out to me, and that is, bless those who persecute you. What?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you don't see that anywhere in our culture. You see, man, somebody tweets bad about you or lash back at them. That's what we see in culture. We don't see bless those that persecute you, that would hurt you. Why is that so difficult? What makes
it hurts getting hurt?
Okay, that's I.
What does it mean to bless those who persecute you? What does that mean? Like bless.
Okay.
Those.
Well, my understanding of when Jesus says, "Blessed are those that are the meek; they shall inherit the earth." Blessed there means happy.
So make them happy.
Psalm 119 says, Great peace have they that love the Lord, and nothing shall offend them. The problem in our society is we are offended. We take up being offended. Offense, when I'm offended, it leads to anger. Anger, as Jesus has stated to the Pharisees, he said, you say you shall not murder, but I say, don't even be angry with your brother. Anger is the root of a lot of things. If you went right to the core of divorce, you'd find anger.
Yeah. And going back to where we were after we read, this is how we know that Christ died for us, he laid his life down, and then asked us to do the same. None of that is in anger. You don't find anger in laying your life down for someone else because
Right.
it's a selfless act.
Right. Did you know? I can't remember. I was listening to someone teaching this week, and they talked about how anger was one of the top 5 things that Jesus talked about on repeat as you go through the Gospels. He talks about anger in the top. So like that's when I heard that, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty. Because anger ruins so much. I think anger keeps us from seeing needs and meeting needs. It keeps us from loving those that have a different opinion.
We
Right?
see that that's what we're living through in our society today. With the great divide we have on all these issues, it's basically rooted in anger.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there. So when we recognize that, that's where we should have the eyes to see like when their worldview is different than mine, so take less offense to that. I think when we get back to what you were quoting, Collins, about we need to, as followers of Jesus, be less offended by what the world's doing, because when we take less offense, then we will be able to love better. As soon as you're offended, you default to anger in some version of anger, and it's not pretty. I think when we talk about seeing need, meet a need around here a lot at Unlocked Church, we talk about, okay, so what does love require you to do? And then what's the physical act to it? It is to see needs and meet needs. Well, you get that right here. It goes on in verse 17 in 1 John chapter 3. If someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need, but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in the person? Like, you see somebody that has a broke down car, somebody or a house that needs painted, or somebody, whatever it is, but you have the skills to do it, to fix it, skills to help, and you ignore it. How can God's love be in you? That's how I read that. It's like, not just do you have the money, do you have the excess? If someone has enough money to live well, we can all define. The problem is we have this scale of living well, right? We always want to make $5,000 more. If I only had $5,000 more a year, I would be, right? So can we define what living well is? How can we Joey gives a face. Like, how would you define living well?
In what context?
Yeah, that's that.
Well, I don't know. How do you read it?
I don't know.
Where did you read that?
I really don't.
In 1 John chapter 3,
3.
verse 17, if someone has enough money to live well,
Have the means to do something about it. Oh, that's so good.
were you not in the room a second
No,
ago
I'm
when I read it?
here. I'm here. It just is so applicable to recent conversations. I was even thinking last night, like I was walking, I was going to have to walk to my car in the dark in the city late at night, and I was with someone who used to be a bodyguard. So I just straight up was like, do you mind if you guys walk me to my car so I can feel safe? I'm actually asking him to help me from his skill set. And I just thought about it, and it's like, that we're given these skills, we're given these gifts, and some might be more taxing than others. Some might be more laborsome than others, but it shouldn't be a scale. It should be, this is what I have. This is what I've been given. I have the ability to, I don't know, I can sit with you and help you edit a video. Like, we should be selflessly helping people with those things, like this is saying, and living inside
But yeah, we wanted to.
means. I
Nick-
know, but it just made me think of that.
Nick Orlando says if you're living in healthy, you're living well. That's how he defines it. I think, Joey, you would, like, I could see the face you made. I think you're probably where most of us default. Probably quickly, it's about money.
Absolutely. That's what first.
So
comes to mind,
listen-
but then I'm like,
Yeah.
He will provide our daily bread, but yeah, and then like you said, like everyone has a different scale, but that's.
I don't
your
think it's
opinion.
just about money.
No, I don't think it.
No, but that's where a lot of
That's
people
where you
go,
default.
That's where
including
people go.
myself.
Collins
If I have
has-
$5,000 more, then I'm living well. Then I can start
well,
seeing need.
then
meeting
I can
need.
help people, right?
Right, but that's
right.
that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're defining living well. Collins, what do you got?
Well, I just want to backtrack that. I mean, John is just on such a narrow teaching here, but if we go back to 2:10, the one who loves and the one who loves and unselfishly seeks the best for his believing brother gives in the light, and in him there is no occasion for stumbling or offense. He does not hurt the cause of Christ or lead others to sin. And this goes to the very thing that we've talked about, Scott, of not doing your brother any harm. And if you are claiming to be a Christian and you are not representing Christ according to his teachings and following him according to those teachings, then you have the possibility of doing your brother great harm, because he'll look at you and say, well, gosh, he's a Christian. If he's doing it, I can do it.
Mm. Yeah, I think that is the rub, is that we choose sides because it fits what our narrative is. Like I want to think this way. I don't know how to fill in that blank, because that blank it could be anything. I want to
It all comes
live with
back from selfish motives.
I'm attracted to this kind of thing, and that we can unintentionally make somebody else stumble because, like, oh, look, that person says they're a follower of Jesus and they are living this way, but it's not living a certain way led by Jesus. It's led by selfish desires. You make other people stumble for that. And that is...
Well, that's the rub of all of our Christian walk, is, are we willing to submit to the teachings of Jesus Christ? All you got to do, if you want to know what those are, is read Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Pretty well sums up everything about our lives. And we either have to we either decide we're going to do that, or we decide we're not going to do that. And that's what John's addressing in this book.
Yeah.
It's a hard question.
Oh.
It's self-examination. We need to examine ourselves. What do we believe?
Right. I think that's a great point. We need to examine ourselves, because what we're doing, I know what a lot of us are doing. Yeah, if my daughter or my son would behave differently, they got to hear this, or my mom or my spouse or what, they need to hear this, instead of going, hold on. Let me turn this. What's my love look like?
Yeah.
Am I loving well?
And just so you know, I fall short a lot.
That's all I'm thinking of, is like that self-examination is just going to be a repeated, I am so selfish every time, and having to counter that and live learning how to put myself second with humility, which is thinking of not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less and trying to put people before you.
Right.
Every time.
Have any of you guys ever watched the YouTube series called I Am Second?
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are so good.
But those stories, and if you haven't watched it, if you're watching today with us, which has been awesome, by the way, it's been a really good morning. The stories are people's testimonies, or stories about learning the gospel, learning what Jesus did, and living in a sold out response to what Jesus did and accomplished on the cross. He died. He was sent to die to be the final sacrifice, so that we didn't have to make up for our lack of perfection. We didn't have to make up for every time we missed the mark. He was sent to die, and he rose from the grave. He did what he said he was going to do. So all those people's stories is a response. I think it just is the reaction from today. All the questions about marriage, all the questions about how do I love, is we're going to find selfishness in all of our answers, but the response should be, wow, Jesus, you did that and you accomplished that. I want everything to be, my response back to you is to just figure out how to honor you back by trying to live this out. And those are the stories. It's like,
Jesus says, if you want to be my disciple, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. Adhere to, rely on, and trust in my teachings.
Yeah, we read that a couple weeks ago. It's funny how that is a theme all the way through. It's not Oh yeah, it's like the DNA of being a follower of Jesus, denying ourselves. Okay, I want to go on and read this as we wrap that up. Dwayne, do you have
Yeah,
something to add to
I
it?
gotta. Yeah, I do. I do. And I think Lily touched on it perfectly. You know, living. I think so oftentimes when people look at putting someone else's needs above ours, like we view it kind of like a bank statement to where it's a negative, I'm giving, it's a negative, and we're so worried about, okay, well, they're just going to take advantage of me, and where's the positive coming through? Like they're not putting back into me. And we think of it being a balance thing, to where if our life, if we approach helping our brothers, helping someone in need as, hey, this is God, like keep in perspective of, like in my Bible it has, if anyone has this world's goods, like we're not of this world, like this world's goods, it's the world is passing away, like the world is not eternal. But if we are putting God, if we're trying to glorify God, then what's going to happen is that it's not going to be like a bank transactional type thing to where I'm always giving, but we're looking at, hey, you know what, like I glorify God. And if you get in a giving war with God, like God is always going to win. And it's crazy how that works. Of you
Mm.
think that you're giving so much more, it's like, God has a way of showing up and blessing you in ways that you can't imagine. So, when we think of giving, I know a lot of people, again, they're afraid of getting taken advantage of, and they're getting afraid of, well, this is, um, they're gonna abuse my love. They're gonna abuse, what I give them. But we're not giving to them. Like we're giving this to glorify God.
Mm.
That's so good.
That's good.
Right,
If
the
only I could
response
like.
back. This
That's
is
what
my
I was gonna.
response back to what you've done for
That's
me.
what I was gonna say. Like we gotta. I mean, pretty much what, like not working on, not like Collins was saying earlier, not being offended. So like if you're giving your time and energy to help someone and they're not like reciprocating or even like wanting, I don't know, whatever it may be, not being offended by that and doing it because that's ultimately you're living differently and you're honoring God by loving Him, and it's continuing to do it even though they don't.
No strings attached.
Right, not expecting anything in return or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I catch myself. Like I do a great thing, I think, and then like I sit around and go, man, I didn't get a thank you.
I literally was just gonna say that. I like look for it.
You look for what?
The
Hey.
thank you.
Yeah.
do
I
the
think
same
one-
thing, yeah, and it's bad.
And if I
think
don't,
one
I'm
im-
offended.
Yeah.
Full circle. Yes, Collins.
I think one important point here is that these are not lists of things that we do. These become matters of a heart change, and God works in us through Holy Spirit
Yeah.
to help us do this. These are things that Christ works in our life. He is working through us to demonstrate these principles. It's not something we do just because we know, oh, I shouldn't be offended. No, you have to genuinely get to the point where the Holy Spirit has put this in your heart, and you aren't offended because you love people, and you have the peace of God.
Right. Okay, let me go on. We got to land this plane.
This
There's
has
so
been-
much more to talk
This has
about.
been a turbulent flight, my friends.
Verse 18 of 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. Give you guys a second to go get back to there.
First John or
Yeah, it's
Okay.
1 John chapter 3, verse 18.
got it. When we practice real love, this is what
Dear
mine says.
children, do not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. Our actions will show that we belong to the truth. So we will be confident when we stand before God. Even if we feel guilty, God is greater than our feelings, and we know, and He knows everything. So, let us not merely say we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. So there's that action piece. So now it's like, okay, so I do need to see a need, meet a need, but how about this piece? You watch people do something and you sit there and judge them. Oh, they're just doing that because they want money. They want that person to give them something, so they're serving, right? Have you ever done that? Have you ever
Oh, yeah.
judged somebody else's motives? Now listen to what Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. I have a new highlighter, and I cannot read very well through it. It's kind of like a crayon highlighter. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
That's all I could find. It's not cool.
No, you don't like it?
No, because when it goes on there, well, especially when I read in the sun, it kind of melts the crayon, and so it's thick. So, nonetheless, it's first world problems. Here we go, and I was just trying to stall as you find 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. This is Paul writing to another group of people that are followers of Jesus meeting together, and he goes, this is Paul. As for me, it matters very little how I might be evaluated by you or by any human authority. Mic drop. Love that. Yes, please. Come on, someone. Okay, that's amazing. Just to be able to be in that position, I'm like, I read that this week. I was like, that's kind of a goal for me. Not in a nasty manner, but in a way of like, I don't really. People judge me all the time, especially because we sit online and we have another YouTube channel. People are always judging. And it's like, wait, hold on. Why get wound up by that? I don't even trust my own judgment, he goes on this point. My conscience is clear, but that doesn't prove I'm right. I love that too. He's like, I got no guilt. I don't feel bad about what I just said or did. But hold on, let me pump the brakes for everybody. My conscience is clear, but it doesn't prove I'm right. It is the Lord himself who will examine me and decide. So don't make judgments about anyone ahead of time before the Lord returns, for he will bring our darkest secrets to light and will reveal our private motives. Then God will give to each other whatever praises is due. We got to stop being, that's a bit of the Karens in the world. One of the biggest things that the enemy tempts us with is to be God. Mm-hmm. Our job is to not judge. That is God. For us to check the motives of people's heart, to go, oh, they're doing that to get a girl or to get a boy, or they're trying to do that to just look good. How do you know? How do you know? So like in this, like we can't sit there and judge other people. That's a very hard, but boy, that's applicable to like, okay, let's get to know the people. Let's stop judging people. And then, so he says, in all of this, I was thinking as I was reading this, love is a verb, it's action. Love with actions equals confidence that that's what I'm supposed to do, right? Love with actions is confidence of God's got me. I don't need to run around and make people look bad. I'm just loving people. What does love require? There was a conversation that a group of people had in the book of Matthew, written by Matthew, with Jesus. Jesus says this. He goes on and says, you took care of me when I was sick, and when I was, I needed clothes, you clothed me. And so there's this conversation the disciples are having, like, when did we do that? It's Matthew chapter 25, verse 37 is we're going to pick up after Jesus tells this story. They go, then the righteous ones will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink, or a stranger and show you hospitality, or naked and give you clothes? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you? The king will say, I tell you the truth, when you did to one of the least of these, my dear brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me. I'm like, okay. So now that changes the game as we are trying to be going back to what John's writing here. If someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need, but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in this person? We should see a need, meet a need. We should do what love requires us to do and not judging other people's motives. I think that's a good way to just end it today. When we do that, we can be confident to stand before God. Any thoughts on those closing remarks there as you guys are hearing me read those and bounce around?
I just think, again, it's a response to what Jesus has done for us. And he's done everything. He laid down his life so that we can live. and live in freedom and have full life, like he says in John 10:10. And this is the least we can do, right? And when we do that, we're serving him back. We're glorifying him. We're
Ye-
saying thank you for what you did for me. Here's
Yeah.
what I can do for my brother or sister here.
Yeah.
So my neighbor.
Collins or Dwayne?
Yeah, I think it's once we get our motives right, once we kind of get there, okay, yes, I want to step in, I want to see needs and meet needs. It's not a natural thing, because we are very selfish. Our society is very like take care of you. It's a lot like taking up an exercise routine to where hey you've got to make progress, and you can definitely rely on people around you to hey this is what's going on. Like if you kind of again try to train your ears and try to train your eyes to kind of see those needs like and get better. Like it's one of those things that the more you do it the easier it becomes.
Mm.
But if you've never done it before then it's going to be hard to kind of see that, so stay with it, stick with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, stay with it.
I think the first deal is to start recognizing the needs, right? Start seeing the needs. Like, my prayer often. I mean, I pray it. I'm not going to say daily, but a lot of times in a week. God, give me eyes to see the needs and the reminder to do something about it.
Yeah.
Give me the eyes to see and then do something about it. Because great, it's like, hey, Joey, I see somebody, broke down. I think you should take care of it. No, there's nothing about delegating this stuff. It's about see a need, meet a need. When you see someone in need and you have the means to do it, go do it. If you have the ability to fix cars, now this is a or like I said, paint a house or me make videos for people, and somebody's in need of that, and you can do something about it, then do it. Like go fix the car, and don't grumble and complain about it, or don't grumble and complain about I could make $10,000 making that video. Just make the video for the person, like serve them, and then wait to see what God does in that person's heart. You have no idea what God's gonna do with that person. And yeah, there are takers in the world. Here's the rub. There are people that are takers and they don't have this principle, Jesus principle in it. But that's not for you to deal with. That's not for you to go, oh, you did. Hey, that's just the way it is for them. You got to make sure you're not taking advantage in this, right? We're not trying to tell you.
Be a doormat.
Yeah, be a doormat. There's some points of like, okay, no. I know I'm going to still serve him in a place to keep me safe and my family safe and stuff. But it's not, oh, they're just takers and I'm done with them. I don't read any of that here. It's when you see a need, figure out how to meet the need. And maybe the initial beginning of that relationship is their cars broke down and that's where it starts. And then you realize, oh, this person's just a needy person. Maybe the need isn't what you see, it's what's going on inside. A lot of times the biggest need that you can fulfill in somebody, and this is true, is give them a relationship with Jesus. Because that will fix a lot of the other things, and they will become less of a taker, and they'll begin to see needs and meet needs, and then all of a sudden this cycle is broken in their life, and a new cycle begins where they lay down their life for other people.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, this could be a whole nother teaching, but it reminded me, I listened to a teaching this week about and just being able to see those needs and meet those needs and almost like slowing down in life, and you never see Jesus running and moving fast and slowing down where you're actually able to see the needs and meet the needs.
Right.
And so many times we're so busy and focused on us and the selfish motives, and that we're just gonna be in our lane, and then we don't see anything. And so sometimes just slowing down,
Get
and
in
so
the
you're
slow
able
lane,
to
baby.
Yeah.
Go to
meet
the
those
grocery
needs.
That's-
store and get in the long line. Stand there, wait. Don't pull out your phone. I bet you'll see a need.
Yeah. We're just, our culture is not breeding that for sure. It's the,
But it starts with us.
yeah, we got to change it. Yeah.
And you all, and let's do it together.
Okay, slow lanes. Good thing I don't ever go into those
I
places.
I have
Collins.
just two comments. I'd encourage everybody to go back and read all of Matthew 25 to get the context on this. Pretty impressive based on what we've been saying. Clarifies a lot of things.
Yeah.
then the other thing is part of what we're talking about is being able to extend grace to people. My wife so adequately pointed out to me in the past, because I would tend to be a little bit road ragey. That's however I would say it. I'd get on people for driving like idiots. And she says,
That would have been me for sure.
you don't have any idea what those people are going through, what their minds are thinking about,
Yeah.
what problems. So we need to extend grace to people,
Yeah.
and we need to extend love to people. I think that's the message here.
Yep. And that's a full-time job, to be honest. That is, and you're gonna. Here's the deal. I promise you, this is a money-back guarantee kind of deal. You're gonna have in the next 24 hours a run-in on all of this, where your self's gonna come to the surface, and you're gonna have to say, "Not today, self." I'm almost willing to bet in the next hour you're gonna have that.
Yep.
And you're going to have to come back and go, okay, wait, what does that require to do? Maybe some of you need to follow up with an apology with somebody because you didn't act in love and you acted in judgment and you acted in those things. And again, all of these statements can open up a whole nother conversation. We could be here all day. But we want to put a bookmark there. We'll pick it up again next week. This has been very enjoyable to keep going through. Dwayne and Collins, thank you so much for hanging with us and giving us your wisdom. We pump in the wisdom from out of the state of Minnesota.
Yes.
We like that.
And I was like on empty. I feel full today.
So we thank you, boys from Mississippi and Illinois.
Someone in Minnesota loves you.
Yeah,
it's
baby.
True. More than just a someone. I would say
That's correct.
some multiple.
Here's the deal. Collins is always rocking a different coffee mug. We need to make sure we supply him
More
with
coffee mugs.
Yeah, like because he gets a good kick out of it. A couple weeks ago,
love
it was I mean, every week has been something different. So let's make sure
Cool.
we get
But
him.
you have to provide two, because my wife and I always drink out of the same mugs because we are in a covenant relationship.
Yes, yeah. That's when I said
I
they
love
both
that.
were having complications at about the same time, and I was like, "Hey, you guys don't have to do everything together. Like, there are some
Yeah.
things that you don't have to." But that point, like here, this is the family dynamics. Holly, my wife, and Collins, that's her dad. They are on a quest to get fit. And so Holly has been very diligent in working out every day, doing crazy workouts and stuff. And I'm helping her. And Collins goes, well, I didn't know that you were going to get involved in this situation. I'm like, what? How am I not?
Collins, hire me.
Like,
No, actually, it's better for me that Scott's involved, because he goes about it all wrong.
yeah, see, that's the competition we have here.
And they're rising to the surface.
No, it's the competition in this whole thing. The
Wait,
competition.
Collins, I would love to help you. I don't know
Yeah,
what I would
well,
say, but I'll just be your cheerleader.
I don't either, but I'm open to suggestions if you want to.
All right, let's go. I mean, I see everything Scott's having Holly do, so I could just text you what, the program.
Yeah, but I'm way
is.
ahead.
Oh, my goodness. You guys.
Way
You guys
ahead.
are awesome.
Okay,
I mean,
we can't get into the.
Actually, I can't be beaten.
You can't be beaten. That's because no, we can't. We don't have time to unpack that. Let's just.
Scott, you're gonna wear Holly out before she gets fit.
No way. No way.
confused.
Hey.
She's raising 8 children. That woman.
What he's
got-
saying is Scott's gonna burn her out before, and she just
Exactly.
give up.
She's a gritty girl.
No,
she
she
raised
won't.
her
He
right,
won't
give up.
Collins.
She
Is
won't
gonna-
give up. She won't give up.
Nah,
It's about
she won't give up.
Yeah,
the
this is a product
consistency.
of your parenting, my friend.
I'd
Yeah,
like to think-
Dwayne's like right there.
I would like to also say that 21 years of marriage to
Yes.
me is some. like, there's
However,
some.
what came
my
first
goodness.
was Colin's parenting and Jana's parenting, then your covenant
Yeah,
and the dode.
yeah, but let's see. We're 20, almost 22. I'm almost been married longer to her than she spent in the home.
Yes, I know.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, not that. Okay.
Okay.
But
Nonetheless.
I've had influence over here more. Anyway.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's okay.
Anyway.
You get to see the fun bit that we all have. All right, Dwayne and Collins, we'll see you guys next week. It's been a pleasure.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you
Great
so much.
to have you today.
For everyone
guys.
else that's online,
Thank
call this
you.
home. Thank you for always being generous in your resources. Like somebody saying, "Hey, we want to get chairs."
Yeah, so cool.
We're a small church, big heart, seeing needs, meeting needs across the world as best we possibly can. And sometimes we're like, hey, if we have an extra couple $100, are we going to buy chairs or are we going to just sit on stools? Or like these tables, like we sit in front. We made these. Like,
Made the platform.
I know that might be surprising.
Sitting on.
But we made these with leftover scraps of things because it was like, hey, this is what we have at hand. These are just trees cut, like literally cut the long ways across. That's what we had in our possession. They didn't cost any. Like, we're just scrappy. So your generosity helps us continue to do what we're doing because we're really trying to see needs, meet needs, help people. Each week we are helping people locally and globally, putting people up in hotels and getting food to them. Your church has got a big heart. When we talk about what does love require us to do, we ask that about the church a lot. I mean, as we are approaching a birthday where Unlocked Church is turning another year older, I just think back, where have we been and what have we done? As a church, this would have been, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we had the opportunity to go start a church in Ecuador. Like, we built a building down there. We helped raise thousands of dollars to go build a building down there, and we didn't even have enough money to start our church here yet, but that's where we start. We're like, hey, Ecuador. Thousands of dollars go really far down there. We have pictures of my first run-in down in Ecuador. The kids down there in Ecuador were blown away with my tattoos. They had never seen ink because they're used to dark complected, so they were
Look at
always
them
trying to
pulling your
pull.
skin.
My skin was
Didn't know
rubbed
you had so
raw
much
because that
skin.
was every day. Every day the kids in the villages would pull my hand or my skin
Aw, that's so
because
cute.
they thought it was like a shirt over my skin. They
Yeah.
could not understand it. And literally I'd put lotion on it every night to keep the burning from because it just stung.
Wow.
Then we have pictures of like where we were looking for a site to put a building. Look at this was Ecuador. That we raised money to help start another church in that vicinity. There were people that come over that hillside to come to a little shack for church. Like, you're like, that's like in the middle of nowhere. That's Ecuador in the area we were in. And we as a church, what did love require us to do is go and put a church in an area where kids could be taken care of. There's a pastor in place there. It wasn't just us. We partnered with a couple other churches to help do that. But like, that's the DNA of Unlocked Church, is that we're seeing needs and meeting needs locally and globally, and you're part of that story. So I put that in there to just show and brag on, honestly, Unlocked Church in our heart. We're not seeking popularity, fame, notoriety. We are trying to make Jesus known, and we're trying to do that in the best way possible. And so thank you for everyone that partners with us with resources that you are giving. You're helping us stay scrappy and be able to do what we're doing. We're kicking off another camp this tomorrow, which we're pretty stoked about, doing middle school and high school as the fall approaches. Last camp of the year. It's going to be good. That's your church doing it. On your behalf. You might not be able to send your kids to it, but we're doing it, and you're helping those things be made possible. So when you give, it's like you are seeing a need, meeting a need through us, going, okay, I can't physically be there. I don't know all the needs, but I can help resource those needs. So thank you. We make it super, super easy, and I always throw it to somebody to tell you how easy it is. So we're going to give Joey a chance to say, how easy is it, Joey?
One more time
You
to see
know,
that clean-shaven face.
it is
There you go.
so easy. You just text the word unlock to the number 77977, or you can go to unlockchurch.com and push the giving tab at the top and give that way. So 2 simple ways to give here. And it can't get any easier, I don't think, with how many people use technology these days, right?
Yeah, it's like in the palm of your hands.
Yeah, you don't have to send it in the mail. It's not
Right.
like it's.
But if you are a snail mail person, you can go to unlockchurch.com and snail mail it.
Absolutely, but I don't know
No, just
where-
go to contact, and our snail mail would be there. You can, like Joey said earlier, you can go there and you can see the giving tab, and you can give there if you're like on a computer or something. Okay.
All right.
It's
That's
been a
good.
great Sunday. What a great good to have you back, Lil.
Landing the plane. Yeah, sheesh. You guys get into trouble while I was gone or what?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah,
you did.
we did.
Was Collins here? You
Yep.
for sure got into trouble.
Collins was here. Joey was here. But it's good. This is the first time since the new set we
I
talked about all 3
know,
of us
my
back.
crew.
It's been fun. We love being able to do this. Can't wait to pick back up in the conversation tomorrow. Joey and Lily, I'm gonna ask you
Next
Sunday. I can't. I'm gonna ask you right now. Do you want to go do this in person, on stage? Will you? Will you be there?
I will be there.
But you have a newborn. You're trying to figure out what to do with.
Yeah. I can do
I'll
it.
hold
Tell her.
I'll hold the newborn.
Tell.
While we sit
We'll
up
get
there.
some help there.
All right.
But the three of us is it's just too good.
This was
to-
good. It was
to not-
good.
you'll
I
help
feel
me.
like we need Collins and Dwayne to come too.
Yeah, well, we can't do that. But you'll help me. There's a lot that was said that I want to cover that you guys in the chat said today, and I want to make sure we don't forget those things. And so if that works, Joy, check
Yeah.
with the missus. I understand that. If she sits next to Holly can help her.
Okay.
Instead of being up at the top row, come down to the bottom.
All right.
All right, guys. Love every one of you online. Have a great Sunday, a good
Bye.
week, and we'll see you next Sunday with another continuation of 1 John chapter 3. Adios, everybody. Bye.